All right, we're back, guys. Thank you for watching that commercial break. We're just waiting on ByuL, who's currently in the bathroom. Oh, looks like he's actually back as I say this, so never mind. Looks like we'll go as soon as the live says the go, go, go. Thank you to Corrupt Pancake. I'll repeat this on stream real quick, because I recently learned how to do this. 24 months of resub action. This is 2 years Creekasm. Thank you very much for sticking with us for 2 years. And, of course, all you lovely, awesome people who have been joining us in chat. But looks like we're ready to go with the very first of 2 semifinals. So, again, 2 best of 3s and 1 best of 5 remain in today's cast. And Roy Cycle as well for the 10 months, setting us up just as we get into game. Don't want to miss out on that. Twitch Prime sub on top of that, too. Nice.
Sick City. So much love.
Yeah. Speaking of love, I love casting some good players here in the Olimoleague. And it is game number 1 here in the semifinals. As always, it's Rifkin coming at you on BaseTradeTV, but you might not recognize my co-caster. It's Zeph. Gonna give her an introduction too. But spawning here in the bottom left, this guy managed to take down one of the best Terran players in the world. He knocked out ByuL to get here. Can he do it again against aLive? It's ByuL.
And his opponent in the top right, he's the blue Terran known as aLive.
You know what happened when he beat ByuL? I couldn't believe it.
All right. That's enough out of you, mate.
Just like pat me on the head and put me in the corner.
Oh boy.
All right. No, but seriously, that was a fantastic series. And to be honest, I don't know if ByuL's going to have aLive's number the same way. Like, again, with ByuL, it's so predictable how he's going to play. You know he's going to do either Reapers or the 2 medevacs. And it's you pretty much just guess depending on the map it is. ByuL might not have that same sort of relationship or like predictability with aLive, but aLive is also a really good Terran player, and hopefully he doesn't underestimate him. Because right now, like, yeah, you're probably riding that high of like, yeah, I beat ByuL. Pfft, who's aLive in comparison to that, right?
Yeah, true. But at least, like, I would say that the Terran openers in general aren't that diverse at the moment, in the sense that people just, sticking to the same old thing.
Well, it's diverse only in extremes, right? Like if you're going bio versus mech, then that's kind of that diversity. But you're right. Like it's if you're not going Mass Reapers, you're going for the 2 medevac drops. If you're doing anything else, you're probably in Crazy Town losing in Masters League, right? Like not top of the game, where the meta's pretty set.
Sure. Yeah, but you do see that sort of early 2 factory cyclone push that comes in. That can be a good curveball to throw because not everyone is necessarily expecting that, depending on who they're playing. I have seen some Hellbat variations of that as well, and that's probably the weirdest sort of build I've seen at the moment, and it's still, like a once in a blue moon kind of thing. Most people still sticking with what our Lord and Savior ByuL says, which is basically the triple Reaper or 2 medevacs like you mentioned. So let's see how aLive plays this. I wouldn't mind him doing something different, to be honest.
aLive's already done something that I really enjoyed, and that's he wrapped around that Reaper back pretty quick. I think we're just always at this point expecting that the pool first opening comes out, and then 2 Lings run across the map and kill this SCV building command center, and then everyone just has a headache if you're Terran. So I like that he pulled that back. The downside, though, is by doing this, he's not going to get across the map, and he's not going to realize ByuL, having scouted the faster 3rd CC, responds with a Baneling Nest.
Yeah. Here we are talking all about aLive, but ByuL is actually the one that's going to dictate how this game is going to kick off, which is a little unusual. Usually the Zerg's, as always, pretty reactive, and here he is going, you know what, I haven't had enough of these Baneling Bust things, and he's deciding to go for another one.
But that's the thing, though, right? The last time we went for Baneling Bust, it failed pretty miserably. Now, there was a different scenario, different map, and different strategies, but the point still remains, Baneling Busts are not what they used to be. There's quite a few Marines out, but they're on the wrong side of this ramp. Hellions are being made. He kills quite a few Lings early on, but the Lings get on top of this. Grenades send them flying, and now ByuL doesn't have enough units necessarily to bust afterwards, but can he get the kills in the meantime? The depot's still lowered. Hellions aren't out yet. If he were actually to focus the depot, he wouldn't even need the Banelings for the bust, but they roll right on up, or walk right on up. Oh,
yeah, they do waddle on in.
CVs.
The one Hellion does get out.
But the reactor going down was already pretty nasty.
Oh, the SCVs! Some decent hits there. He holds the last 2 to try and get some better
Well,
detonations there, but unfortunately there's not too much for him to get. The Lings are really doing the work here though. 20 workers already gone down, and aLive may eventually clean this up, but my god, the damage has definitely been done at this point.
right, picking off that reactor is I think what kept this from becoming manageable. If there was like 4 Hellions out instead of 2, if the production was holding up, this could be different, but ByuL absolutely dismantles aLive in game number 1.
GG. That was a quick one.
That was a good one,
ByuL's
though.
not messing around. Yeah, look, it's smart. Like, who starts a TvZ thinking at all that they're going to get Baneling busted? Like, it happens so rarely. I think that was such a smart move from ByuL.
I think a big part of it, too, was him recognizing... Oh, I gotta ask. I guess I'm hosting. Question mark. He recognized that the 3rd CC was down. I don't think you go for a Baneling bust with a typical scout. Like, the 3rd CC was, like, the big red flag that says, hey, bust me.
Yeah. Yeah, it was well read by ByuL. He chose well. So, perhaps, I don't know, we'll see what happens in game number 2, which I believe is going to be on Echo. Funnily enough, the other map that he tried to Baneling bust on, but, yeah, we'll see what happens there.
While we're waiting for the game to get up, thank you to Max Diffie for the 24 months. Since these were great 2 years, keep up the good work. Well, thank you for sticking with us for 2 years, man. Additional Pylon also just donated $5 to say supporting the dad jokes. Just give a salute and move on. Okay, so I think everybody's in. Looks like we're ready to go. As you guessed correctly, yes, Echo was the map.
Yes.
And oh no, why did my heater just turn off? Oh crap. Okay, well I might freeze solid while this game goes on like a popsicle.
I hope not. We still have another best of 3 and a best of 5 left, so you're not allowed to die before then, okay?
Okay, I'll just
Don't be
freeze.
considerate, mate. You got a job to do.
You have some manners. Here I am with like this wonderful person casting with me, and all I can think about is myself. Okay, my bad. That's on me.
Literally the worst.
Okay, well, I'll try not to freeze. I'll probably just have to go replug it when we get a commercial break. But game number 2, ladies and gentlemen, spawning in the top left side of the map. We are in the semifinals for the Olimoleague. He's down 1 game after a very disappointing quick end to that first one. It is aLive.
And his opponent in the bottom right in the blue. This is ByuL.
So again, a couple of big things happen in that game, and like, well, I think a lot of the emphasis goes to ByuL because you look and say, oh, he's the one who made the Baneling bust happen. He's the one who decided to dictate the pace of the game. You wouldn't be wrong, but that game was actually all aLive. Like, had he not chosen to go for the 3rd CC, had that Reaper gone to scout correctly, like, there's a lot of ways that should never have been something that caught him off guard. So while ByuL did great things to take advantage of it, I think that game really is on aLive's conscience because there were so many things he could have done. Like, just by simply not even going for a fast 3cc, like, not being greedy, that could have been a very different game for him.
Yeah. I guess that's the risk you take, right? When you go 3cc, you open yourself up to an early attack.
Yeah.
And that sort of pressure. And again, ByuL has opted for the gas and pool option here. So he's given himself the option, once again, to be aggressive if he wants. And let's not forget, like, the games we've seen from ByuL, he's always sending Lings across the map, even if it's just like a handful to try and pick off a couple of SCBs, a couple of Marines. Well, he's always doing something.
On a map like Echo, I didn't bring up the topic of Reapers because we see it all the time, and it's, to be honest, just expected. But aLive doesn't go Reapers at all. Excuse me, he does go a Reaper to scout, but you know what I mean. It's not the 3 racks Reapers, so yeah. He just expands and he's gonna play this out. ByuL, on the other hand, yeah, like, he's already got those early Lings. You go for the pool first because you expect this sort of stuff. He's going for a very, very fast speed in anticipation of all this, but it's not the case at all.
Yeah, I mean, he could be greedier, but I like the choice to grab that quick speed and Lings. It's just, I think it's a bit more beyond style at the moment, but also you never know when you're going to get the 3 racks Reaper coming at you, so you may as well be prepared. I think getting the earlier gas and pool is worth the peace of mind when you're coming up against a Terran player who could potentially do that sort of aggressive stuff to you. And he's actually going to move on from there, grab himself an Evo, probably see the +1 Carapace upgrade come from that, and he may even throw in some Overlord drops.
Well, this is going to be pushed away pretty easily by aLive. Might even get the kill. I'm actually not sure if that Overload will get away. It's either going to barely get away or going to get absolutely wrecked. Meanwhile, Reaper's going to be able to keep any links from getting this. So yeah, Marine. Oh my god, this is going to suck to lose the Overlord this early.
Kills it, right?
Oh my god.
Oh, wow. Well, he can.
Why did the
still
mule
kinda
drop there? What?
He was helping.
Oh, I think he was going to... No, I actually don't know what he was going to do there. I was going to say maybe mule drops the other side for vision, but that would make no sense. I don't know why mule dropped just now. Marine also going to die to the grenade. That's really unfortunate. That's I don't know if you got a word for this in Australia, but in Canada we call that a dick move.
Yeah, we have dick moves.
Yeah. Oh man, this is actually gonna get really lewd, so we're gonna cut that off right there. Third CC finishing up for aLive in the main, and he's got the Hellions coming out again. Like this, I got no problems with his build. I got no problems with the choice to go for Hellions, the third CC. It's just that last game he left himself so open to do it. This game around, a lot safer of the way to get to the same end results.
Now, ByuL, on the other hand, has gone for a quick gas in the natural, and he's got his lair coming down before the third gets down. So that lets him go into quick spire. And that is perhaps not something that aLive is expecting, especially like when you go for factory openers. This is absolutely devastating.
Oh.
He's actually going for the extra couple of racks, so he will have some defense for it, but it's still tricky to deal with if you don't know what's coming.
The Spire's also in a very odd spot. This isn't something that's going to necessarily be easily scanned or scouted, so I'm wondering if ByuL's going to actually go down like the rogue pathway of playing Zerg and just go like for way too many mutas, or if this was just simply like, okay, I'm sneaking a little bit on the side. This Baneling that's also being put in such a weird spot. I don't know what's up with the positioning of these.
Yeah, I guess it's not the most common place to be dropped, aside from the scouting factor there. So at least if they're near a ramp, they're kind of between the two reinforcing places of your natural and main. But yeah, it's just a little out of the ordinary, I suppose. It helps keep it out of trouble for a little while longer, less likely to get scouted. The third's actually finished too, so even if the Hellions poke in there and scout it, they're not going to be able to see the exact timing that it comes down, because he hasn't actually scouted over that side of the map at all for a long time. So he has no idea, absolutely no idea that Muse are already on the way.
Oh, okay. Marcos, by the way, I can't check my personal, so this is brought up in chat. Thank you for the $11.11 on my personal PayPal. I can't check the Twitch alerts associated with that while I'm logged into the BaseTradeTV one, so I don't know what the message says, but just know that I love you and I thank you.
Alright, third base being established here for aLive. He's knocking down the rocks for a bit of added security there. It's about medevac time as well, so he may be able to head out and start clearing up some creep, putting on a bit of pressure, but the mutas have already arrived.
Yeah, and the medevacs just picked up all the anti-air, so they got to turn around immediately. A little bit awkward.
Yeah, that's rough timing, and he's going to start dropping there as well, and immediately he has to go into the main because there's no turrets anywhere, and this is why fast muta is so great if you can pull it off, because you can get so many SCVs, you can go for add-ons, and the Terran really has to scramble to deal with this. Oh god, don't do that! Wow.
Okay, so that's gonna really suck. ByuL's investment a bit rough over there. Meanwhile, this one Marine is mad that his friend died earlier to the Reaper, I guess, and taking it out on the command center. I don't know. But the mutas are trapped, and unfortunately, having lost so many of them for what was a very rushed investment, feels like this really hurt ByuL. But in a small way, this is still doing some good, because this is keeping aLive at home. He's not dropping, so the fourth base gets down. There's creep spread all throughout the middle of the map. It's not a good thing, but at least it's not necessarily all bad.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, he's still gotten his third up. He's grabbing a fourth. He also only lost 7 SCVs. Could have been a lot worse if those mutas were still able to maneuver around in a larger number. And he finally does get to move out with his double drop. We'll see if that actually gets any damage. It is still worrying that ByuL was doing as well as he is, though, because he's got the 4 hatches, the creep is looking great, and he can actually start powering up towards Hive if he wants. He's pretty comfortable at this stage, although it looks like he's happy to sit on the lair tech for the moment, go more Lings, go more Banes, invest more into those mutas with a +1 attack as well.
So she has to fly him out while this goes on, and only 2 managed to escape. Feels really bad, man.
Yeah.
This Hellbat's in production. Intentionally. Huh. I have some thoughts on that in a moment, but still in the middle of the map, being pushed back, caught by Lings, caught by Banelings. Not a lot to get done. Thank you to Asia StarCraft, Asia AI. I don't know how to say that. There's like four attempts. One of them's got to be right. I don't know. Thank you for subbing to the channel, though. Big love, even though I can't say your name. Thanks for the support. But the mutas are being rebuilt, and he does need them. The concern is, though, when it comes down to these Hellbats. Hellbats are not going to be very good. They're great in concept because like their low-end damage guarantees better than bad Widowmine hits, but the Widowmine hits on their worst are usually still better than Hellbats, and frankly, these might soak a couple of Baneling hits, and that might just be it. Caught from behind. ByuL does get on top of this. Banelings aplenty, but looks like this army's not going to be big enough to take an actual fight. And ByuL's already so far behind an army supply, this ends up being a terrible move for him.
Yeah, he's got to be a little bit careful. He can definitely continue to pick off reinforcements with the Lings and mutas that he has behind here, and that can really help him in the long term, but in the short term, you're right, he doesn't have a lot to face this army with. He's got a bunch more Lings coming in, his 2-2 is on the way, but aLive has the upgrade advantage for now, and a much bigger force on his front doorstep.
I will say, I guess that's one of the advantages of the Hellbats. They are pretty cheap to turn out, so you get a lot of them to help with the army, but it's not about the Hellbats. It's so much about the Marines, the Marauders. The splits are good. The mutas are not numerous to pick off these units that are split, and ByuL is just in so much trouble.
Yeah, it's not looking good, but coming in from multiple angles is probably the best thing that ByuL can try to do. Yeah, it just doesn't work. Oh wow, the third base goes down with almost no contest whatsoever. ByuL has hardly anything left on the ground. I think aLive might just have it here. I'm not sure. Can ByuL clean this up? There's a drop in main as well.
I really don't think so. I mean, the mutas being picked off too as they rally the wrong direction. This is probably too far gone, and I think this is going to go to a game 3, which is nice because I don't like a lot of 2-0s.
Yeah, with had a few of those, I think. Oh, Medevac's actually getting picked off by the mutas is pretty good, but a lot of drones have fallen to the main. 36 drones, in fact, have been killed so far.
Not to toot her horn too much or anything, but Scarlet not playing today might be why there's not a lot of 2-0s. I know she's like practicing for WSG and GSL, so not showing up for the Olimoleague means that the Koreans are spared for another day. Because that run she had was so sick, 2-0ing like Stats and everyone else like back to back to back.
Nice of her to actually give him a chance once. So,
right?
Very kind.
Good person, Scarlet. Alright, so as the Marines and Marauders are pushed back, you might be thinking, oh, ByuL's finally taking some fights. Maybe he could turn this around, but I really want to redirect everyone's eyes to the drone count and remind you that this is a Zerg player on 37 workers. There's just no replacing the units he loses, no matter how good of the trade it may or may not be. And it's not turning out to be that good. GG's get called. And aLive we'll take game number 2, tying things up now 1-1.
Good on him. So we get our game 3. Habitation Station will be our third and final map between these two guys.
What? Okay, well, either way, we're going to commercial break while we get this set up. We'll see you guys in 2 minutes. Oh, shut that out in a second when we get back. Hey, folks, welcome back. You're still watching the Olimoleague. Things are tied up now 1-1 as we get into game number 3. We had a donation come in just before the break, so just want to quickly get that out of the way. Thank you very much to, also Blunderful Guy for the 100 bits. Thank you very much. Olimoleague allegedly, I'm going to say allegedly donates $11.11 to say, I'm Olimoleague. I've hacked into everyone. Shit! I've hacked into my own account, my own PayPal. FFS, Ace Lude. Clever. I don't think we've had the meta hacking of hacking just yet, but thank you to whoever that was. Anyways, game number 3 underway. In the bottom left side, we do have the blue Zerg player, ByuL.
And in the top right, he's the red Terran, aLive.
Okay, so for aLive, I'm wondering if there's gonna be a tank again. We saw this with the other games and the other Terran, where again, whether it was for this ledge or whether it was for just frontal pushes, overgrowth seems to be very tank friendly.
Yeah, it does. I wonder if aLive would bother doing a tank strategy on this map. I don't know, like in the TvZs you've seen on this map recently, have a lot of Terrans tried that?
No, that's why I was really surprised when I saw like ByuL do that for his opening, and then following that up later. Like, it's something where I thought it was just map dependent, but maybe is, maybe isn't. That's why I was saying, like, the question for me just really rises, like, will aLive go that direction, or does he just play a lot more standard Terran, get the second barracks down? Although, actually, as I say that, he hasn't been playing Terran standard this whole series. He's been trying to really force Hellions and make Hellions a thing, with even Hellbats in that last game. I don't care that you won game 2 aLive. I still don't think the Hellbats were the way to go. But regardless, we may just see the Hellion opener come out of him. And if he goes Hellions, I would love to see like a Hellion drop. But I think that's like getting a little bit too far ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, the Hellbats are a bit of a blast from the past, because there used to be a build where they did a Marauder Hellbat push, and I think it timed out to hit your third, and it was so hard to stop. You had to have a bunch of Queens and Lings and Banes to hold it. And I think there's certainly potential for aLive to do a more aggressive opener in his TvZs if we wanted to. In terms of that Cyclone build that's hanging around, that would be the way to go if we wanted to change it up. But as we can see, he's actually just sticking with
Faster
the
Hellions.
usual, grabbing his factory with a reactor there.
Yeah, and the starport comes down too. So I really gotta bring it back and just go plug and unplug in this heater thing there, because I'm actually like feeling pretty bad right now. So
No worries.
I'll be back 1 sec, guys.
Gotta make sure we keep Rifkin alive. This cast is his streamer and observer. Let's bear with us for 1 second.
Wait, I came back.
Stop.
I came back to say we gotta keep Rifkin alive. Okay, be right back.
Hey! Okay, bye. Starport is finishing up now for the moment. ByuL is actually doing the same build he did in the last game, going for the quicker Evo off that gas and pool, grabbing the +1 Carapace, but he's also going to morph a drop Overlord, which is just below the main at the moment. A few Lings are out, and in fact they're going to sneak straight into the natural. They can pick up a couple more units here, and 18 more Lings in production. That's going to allow him to drop some in the main and some into the natural at the same time.
Looks like the Hellion should clean this up. It's been a while since we've seen Reapers and Hellions, but keeping that one alive, one health's nice.
Here is it.
Just gonna autofollow these for a sec while I fiddle. Sorry guys, I know this is super like unprofessional, but I'm actually sitting at like -4 degrees Celsius. It's very cold in my room, so 1 sec.
Now the Reapers and Hellions are going to come in. They're going to start... Oh, excuse me. He did actually make the armory. So we've got the Hellbats coming in with the Reapers, and I don't think he can contest this at all. He's got 2 Queens walking over, but at the same time, Link's going into the third.
Yeah, but on top of all this is a Banshee in the production tab with Cloak. It's like nobody expects the late Banshee, so there's no Spore Crawlers. There's no Lair. There's not going to be any way to deal with that Banshee.
No, there's not. And a Viking came out as well, so the Overlord drop that ByuL had planned didn't really work out either. He's killed 1 worker out of all this harass that he's done. He's lost almost 20 Lings at this point. He does keep his third alive and brought a whole bunch more Lings home to actually defend against that. But this is not the way ByuL had planned this to go.
No, it looks like he tried to go for the drop Overlord too, which really got shut down. And this breaks my heart because I was really hoping it would be ByuL who takes the series and gives us like that Innovation ByuL Grand Finals, right? But I would not be upset to see aLive beat him, because this is such a uniquely different way to play TvZ than what we've seen out of all the other Terrans. So kind of like cool points on top of winning points. But Hellions should be able to hold the wall, not because they're Hellions, because they turn into Hellbats, but not if they don't transform from the command centers. Killed, not canceled. Uh-oh. Lings also get a really nice surround. SCV's getting pulled to try and push them away a little bit, but they don't get the repair off whatsoever. aLive is falling apart, so I spoke too soon. Maybe ByuL will win this game at this rate. aLive, what's happening, man?
SCVs, but let's not forget there's a lot of Hellbats here and a Banshee to help clean that up. That's really the ideal situation. And the other Banshee on the side of the map is cloaked and is doing damage. He's already picked up 10 worker kills with more to come before those spores finish up.
It's only the 1 spore in the natural, 1 spore at the third. Does he have one in the main yet? Okay, he does too.
Yeah.
So manageable, but 13 SCV, or sorry, 13 drones versus the 8 SCVs. I will say getting a kill on that 4th command center was a lot of money lost though, so I really don't know how to measure whether that was so much better or worse, because for ByuL, like straight up killing a 3rd CC is huge.
Yeah, it's not bad at all. I think I like ByuL's position a little more despite his sort of failed aggression in the early game. It went a little better once he actually got into the natural a second time. But he's got 3 hatcheries, he can drone a lot, he's got 5 queens, Baneling Nest finishing up and Lair finishing up, so his tech's starting to get on the way. He's got the +1 Carapace upgrade already with the +1 melee on the way. aLive hasn't got any upgrades started just yet, because he's invested so much into those Hellions. And he doesn't have a lot to harass with either. He has the Banshees, he has the Hellbats, but I feel like at this stage, ByuL can handle that.
Well, the Viking in the main gets taken care of, but the Banshees, of course, just dipping in, looking for some kills. With the Overseer out, though, this looks like it will be pushed back by the Queen, so much, much better on the defense this time around. A little bit supply blocked is a little bit awkward, but we don't notice as three Overlords are finishing up. That 3rd command center also finally finished too, so aLive can consider moving that over. He threw down a ton of extra barracks, so like 4 extra barracks just finished up, so his production is going to be soaring momentarily.
Yeah, the +1 attack finally finishing for aLive there. So we can start to even the footing here in terms of the upgrades a little bit, but still not quite doing too much pressure. I like that he's able to get a couple more kills with those Banshees though. All in all, he's killed 20 workers, which isn't too bad at all for aLive.
No, not at all. I like that the Banshees have some pretty good use this game too. They get away of the silent for the 20-month resub too. East Kate's in chat, thank you very much. Bailey's speed about halfway done. I think that should be ready by the time any attack actually hits. Hellbats are normally kind of scary when there's a lot of them and when you're playing mech, but once again, this is aLive playing with a fairly heavy amount of Hellbats with a bio composition.
Yeah, nice delay tactics here for ByuL at that 3rd. It does have to get out though as the Hellbats come in again. Spire is about to finish and that'll give him some good map control. There's no defense for mutas just yet, so he could have a field day on those SCV lines if aLive doesn't drop any turrets or anything preemptively. Yeah.
Oh, what's going on? Chat suggesting if I'm cold, I should just put on some pants. But you guys have to understand, they'll find my corpse in underwear before they'll find me wearing pants, all right? Also, I don't know why I forgot about this trick. I learned this a little while ago. You know that if you're cold, you're supposed to stand in the corner of a room?
What?
Because it's always 90 degrees.
Okay. Oh, I can't believe I walked into that one too. I've heard that so many times recently. Wow.
Walked into what, the corner or the joke?
Okay.
Alright. This game has not gotten too far out of hand for either player. It's going to be really weird though, because I think that the Hellbats, like, they're not going to be super effective versus the Banelings. But they do have more health than Marines. They can take a couple of extra hits, to say the least, from the Banelings. Not to mention dish out a good chunk of damage with even just one attack before dying. If it came down to like primarily Lings and the Banelings weren't part of the equation, oh, these Hellbats are so much better than Widowmines are. But that's never really the case. I like that we finally have some Widowmines being added in.
Sure, and ByuL's about to... aLive is about to take the upgrade advantage here as well. ByuL paused droning just for a sec to get these mutas out, so hopefully they pay off for him. He's at about an 8 drone economy now with... Oh!
Nice hits.
He's lucky.
Yeah, if you get the 4 Widowmines, that's when you get that one really sick hit that ends up with a clip on Reddit, but unfortunately, 2 is not quite enough to kill them all. It will kill 2 of them, though, which is nice. As he pushes through the middle of the map, though, aLive has about a 20, 30 almost supply lead right now. This is actually kind of scary. ByuL's got those Banelings on the way and 7 more mutas coming, but the mutas are such a weird thing to prioritize.
Well, he wants to get some harass out, he wants some map control, it gives him a bit of vision as well, but at this stage, I mean, it's a little scary. He needs more ground army just to be safe against this push coming in from aLive. He's got, like, his economy's fine, he's totally set up, he just needs the army at this point.
when I say weird, though, it's like not weird necessarily in even a bad way. You got to consider without Widow Mines, there's a lot less anti-air capabilities in this army, and it's only the small amounts of Marines. So if the Banelings don't kill the Hellbats, but they do take out the Marines, what are Marauders and Hellbats going to do? They're going to die to Mutalisks. So it's going to be a very interesting dynamic on how the engagement gets taken.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to be a great cleanup crew, that's for sure. And already aLive has been pushed out of this area on the top of the ramp. He's heading back to the watchtowers for now. He's got a drop heading down to the bottom right-hand side base as well. Excuse me, a Banshee, which does get taken out in one hit. So unfortunately, no distractions there for ByuL, but a double drop going into the main just might do it.
Yeah, we already have the Banelings and Lings, though, so this should be easily dealt with. Lots of Banelings on the bottom side get caught, though, while this goes on. Also, shout out to chat. I think I've never seen so many face palms before. I guess you guys really like that joke. I thought it was pretty good. I do want to point out that the meticulousness here of aLive, like he has completely pulled back every single Marine from that front line. He doesn't want a single Baneling touching this, and he just puts all the Hellbats and the Marauders to soak that damage.
Clears up some of the creep and heads out of there too before he overstays his welcome. Mutas are going to come in and try and snipe a couple of things, but the Marines charge forward and flush those out of the way. A 5th base going down for ByuL on the left-hand side of the map. Good to get that up and running soon as well. aLive is still looking towards grabbing a 4th base. ByuL's probably pretty happy to see that that hasn't been established just yet, but now he's seen the timing, he might see a window to maybe do a bit more harass, try and run some Link to the 3rd, get something happening. I wish he would still go near that corner because it's stressing me out.
I know. I at the same time, though, I want to see aLive like pump out one Thor. Just one Thor to help zone this, but as the Mutas are caught, like they're really caught in a weird spot right now. There's going to be turrets here eventually, maybe, but there's Marines policing the south side. You can't fight the Marines. You can't fly north. There's Widow Mines and turrets. Like there's all kinds of bad news for ByuL, who's at the very least heavily distracting aLive. So like Banelings and Lings moving on the left side of the map. Hive Tech finishing up behind this. The Mutas aren't doing a lot, but they've completely repositioned the army.
Yeah, they certainly have. And yeah, aLive's like pulled right back into his base right now. A whole lot of Banelings and Lings looking to run into that 3rd base. Not ideal at the moment because the entire army's caught wind of that. And a good chunk of those forces have now gone to that left side to try and defend, while aLive sits with the bulk of his army at his 4th base as well. So both players are kind of looking for a way to do damage, but both of them have also had really good defense so far.
The amount of turrets here are like Nathanius levels of comical, but absolutely necessary to try and keep this base safe and sound. Shout out to Nox LEDM. Thank you for the 2 months, dude. Or 2 years. Excuse me, 2 years, 24 months. Long time to support the channel. You are awesome. Gold base gets taken. Of course, the base over here has already been taken. Like, ByuL's got control of half the map. And now we're in a position where, how many Banelings are there? There's 72 Banelings, F.
Okay, and a lot of those just hit feet.
He just lost like 50 Banelings. We just watched, well, not 50, like 40, but still, like 40 Banelings worth of supply kill like 3 Marauders. Feels bad, man.
Yeah, that's not supposed to happen.
I don't even know what to say to that. Yeah, it's terrible. It's really... And I think he got baited by it too. I don't even think that was like intentional. Like, oh god. So nice moves out of aLive. ByuL's still very much in this game, but now at a bit of a disadvantage because that was his advantage. Stripped and taken away from him. I will say money though is definitely something going for ByuL. Income wise, he's been rocking it for like 10 minutes straight, so money's not been the problem. But oh man, even though you got like a 3.6k bank, you don't want to give away mutas, not for free. And they're just getting shredded. Middle of the map, catches a couple of Marines. Okay, that's kind of cool, but not worth losing all those mutas.
ByuL's at the stage where it's okay for him to lose a little bit, but not these gas-heavy units. He's going to be heading towards Ultras soon, surely, because he's got Kindness Plating about to finish up the 3-3, and Adrenal's just finished as well. He actually crushes through the force on the left-hand side, does get out of there with the rest of the forces, though, that remain. That Mutaflux is significantly thinned out at this point.
Yeah, we finally had that one Thor come out. I love it just because of the range and the zoning capabilities make it so much better to chase the Marines. But Liberators actually are not that good versus mutas. In fact, they tickle at best, and it's almost embarrassing to look at. But 3-3 finished up. 7 ultras on the way. Chitinous plating done. And of course, even +3 air weapons starting up for ByuL, who I guess will be revisiting some more of these mutas in due time. Overseer dying? Oh, that's awkward. Now you can't pick up the Widow Mines. But how many Bailings are banked up over here? 38 still locked and loaded. Those ultras are not going to be good on their own. Ultras are absolutely horrible units when they're just on their own. But when they've got Mutalist support, Bailing support, Link support, that's when ultras are amazing. But right now, the two parts of the army completely split.
Yeah, I think ByuL doesn't exactly want to engage his head on if he doesn't have to. And here he goes. He actually
all the
half
overseers
the time comes in from 2 angles.
That's all the overseers. He doesn't have detection. Yeah. He can't deal with the Widow Mines.
Oh, he doesn't. He might want to figure that out. Actually gets an Overlord killed for free here. And a few more could be donated to the aLive fund in a second if he's not careful. He's failing to use them on the door.
You know, right side's got so many turrets. I don't know if this is a base he wants to really dedicate to. He's going to roll into that middle line with the Banelings, kill the SCVs. Looks like the Planetary is going to go down to some just residual collateral damage. But while this goes on, ByuL has finally used up his bank. He's maxed out once again, and this game is looking very swarmy right now, Zeph.
Yeah, it certainly is. Ultra Mutas, Lings clean up those forces in the middle of the map and chase them right on out of there. Overseers have joined the fray once again. So we can start cleaning up those mines if he just moves a little to the left. A drop actually going to the main at the same time. And a single Liberator has stopped any mining from the gold. Oh, excuse me, that one's a Liberator as well.
Well, regardless of the income, again, ByuL was like a bear preparing to hibernate for the winter. Like, he ate all his berries, he's got all that money banked up, and he's good to just coast for a while, frankly. Like, he's going to be hurting on gas, and that kind of sucks, but the fact that he's still got like 3,000 minerals despite the way that this has been trading just says so much about his position in this game. Says so much about the control he's had to just mine freely. The ultras are probably going to die here, which kind of sucks, but the mutas in the meantime get on top of the Widow Mine field. Overseers once again getting picked off and possibly going to lose all that detection.
And then he goes into the natural, actually busts down the... Nope. Decides against it. Gonna move on out of there as the mutas take care of the left-hand side. He wants that planetary dead. This
is 26 mutas. They've got +3 weapon upgrades. They're actually a very dangerous thing.
Yeah, they sure are. You can see aLive struggling with this too. He doesn't actually have that much anti-air.
Planetary's gonna go down. Oh my god. He just picked off the planetary with mutas of all things.
Yeah, he just can't deal with it. He doesn't have anything to stop. Like, turrets at this point don't matter because the mutas can just tank it and kill him in like 2 seconds. And he's struggling to find an angle to attack.
I feel like ByuL, when he beat Byun, like ate his heart and gained his courage or something like that. Because seriously, there was 3 times in this game where I was borderline saying like, okay, he's out of this game. Like, aLive's gonna go through and all that good stuff. But ByuL is kicking ass right now. Speaking of which, oh, sorry, go on.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna tell a bad joke. Would you like to cast?
Oh god, hold that thought. Actually, the ultras, 2 of them getting potentially picked off at the end. Their third base actually goes down as well.
I feel like at this point losing ultras isn't even that bad. You can just flood with lings. 4,000 minerals worth of lings are going to deal so much better with having to deal with liberators and whatnot. But as he pushes on in, the mutas could come over and he could collapse on this. But the ultras are getting completely wrecked through that field. Now they're getting guided down, and the mutas are so far away. I don't know if they can support this, but there's not many marines. He's rushing back to deal with the liberators. He wants to pick these off while he can. He knows they're exposed. 6 more mutas coming up behind. That's going to round him off to 30 mutalisks. Meanwhile, there's barely 15 marines.
Yeah, he actually doesn't have enough marines total to take this out. I think the mutas could actually fight it head on.
I think that's it. I think that's got to be with the command center going. That was the last command center.
Yeah, it was actually. So aLive putting in a valiant effort here, trying to snipe what he can, but at the end of the day, he's got to win the game with this army. That's all he has left.
He's about to get squished in. That's it. The mutas come in. There's just not enough anti-air. There's no wind mines. There's nothing. The marauders fighting for their lives, but they can't shoot up. Quote zombie grub marauders should shoot up, but they can't. So the mutas just clean house. Ultralists move in, and that's gonna be game. GG.
GG.
Congratulations to ByuL, who will go through to the finals, securing him that top 2 prize spot. But now we get to find out whether his opponent will be Innovation or Super, as the other semifinals match will start up in just a moment. I was gonna say though, Zeph, have I ever told you about my grandpa?
No.
He's got the heart of a lion and a lifetime ban from the zoo. We'll see you guys in 2 minutes.